Are you the type of woman who is so ready to take charge of your life, your relationships, and your business, but you just don't know what to do and how to get off the square that maybe you've been stuck on for a long time? Let's dive into today's episode where we go get that nugget of inspiration. Welcome to Life Mastery for Women. I'm your host, Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Join me here 3 times a week for empowering conversations, powerful tools, and techniques to help you experience more joy, healing, and deeper connections in your life. Get ready, ladies. It's time to get that nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. Life is hard, but your personal growth doesn't have to be. Hey ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode where I hope I am finding you taking charge of your life. If you're not taking charge of your life, then it is my intention that in today's episode I give you just one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. So I don't know if I've told you guys this enough, but I have wanted to be an entrepreneur for years and years and years. Here's just some of my business ideas. First, because I thought it would be easy and it would be some quick cash, I wanted to start a house cleaning business. I made these flyers and I put them in all these mailboxes, and then they all showed up back in my own mailbox with a note that says, you cannot add these to people's mailboxes. And so I poo-pooed that idea. Then I wanted to start a rock climbing gym. Then what else did I want to do? There was, I wanted to be in architecture for a really long time. And I tried to take some drafting. I felt like I wasn't smart enough, but I really loved the idea of creating space and business, not like interior design, but like the structure of the business, and then going from this big vision to like the little pieces of how to create that space, like that building. Obviously I didn't do that because I'm a coach. But I did venture off into a couple of different areas to try to elevate my own life. Like I was really feeling like I was taking charge of my life. However, what I was doing was taking charge from a place that was not elevated. And I wasn't going to be able to see the whole piece, right? You know, like I couldn't really elevate myself to see who I needed to become to then have this type of business. So here I am now, 50 years old, and I've got this business and I'm working out the kinks and I'm like diligently addicted to this business. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it drives me absolutely crazy. And it is like this sleepless nights, eager mornings, ready to, hit the ground running. And I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, and I get distracted, and I just went and took the dogs for a walk for a half an hour. I'm trying to figure things out, and I'm starting to come up with my marketing plan. I just got back from Miami. We went to this business retreat from this wonderful leader, this woman leader who I've been following a long time, Michelle Villalobos. You're probably going to hear her name a lot. And she really shifted my thinking, but also pointed my attention in the right direction. So that's what I want to do today, is I want to point your attention in the right direction. So many times we want to change something in our lives, and then we go, oh, okay, let me just manipulate the environment. Let me go to my boss and ask for a raise. Let me go over here and ask for, a different position in my job. Let me go over here and try to maybe find the love of my life. Let me go over here and try to improve this relationship. And where we need to start is inside, because the inside creates the outside. And it is an interesting concept, and it can hurt your brain sometimes because we are so addicted to our environments. We're addicted, and we are hypnotized by our 5 senses. Every day we wake up, we feel, and we look around and we hear things, and we like attack our environment through our senses. And it's all what we manifested yesterday is now showing up today. And what I want to invite you to think about is to change the inside first and start to ignore the environment. Like really start to pull back the curtains of what's going on inside of you. What are your behaviors? What are your thoughts? What are your emotions about a certain subject that you want to change? And then you will understand why that subject isn't changing. Because typically our thoughts and our behaviors and our emotions are just not going to get you what you want. It's not going to change from that level, from that perspective. So from here, First, we have to level ourselves up. And sometimes we can do that with just a perspective shift. We literally can go, oh my gosh, I've been saying the word I can't for 1,000 years. No wonder I can't. Because throwing the word I can't out in front of you weakens the body, the creative faculties. You're just not going to create from that space. The words I can't, or I don't, or I don't know how, I'm not going to, I'm not good enough. You're not going to create what you want from that space. So the first thing we have to do is learn how to flip those things, those words, those behaviors, those emotions on their head and start creating from an elevated space. So first of all, if you haven't gotten your journal or your notebook, I suggest you go get it. But first of all, we want to take the thing. Now, this is a little bit different than we talk about like limiting beliefs. We're going to go a level deeper with this particular tool because I find it to be so fascinating when we look at ourselves to kind of find out what's going on the inside that is preventing this thing, this new change, this new accelerated idea I have from coming into my life. If we keep looking out there, you're kind of like looking, like I said, you like my other analogy, you look in the mirror, you see you don't like the weight you've gained, and you punch yourself in the face in the mirror, trying to change what's going on the inside. So when we start looking inward, introspection is like the name of the game. It is the name of the game. Introspection is going inward and starting to dissect what are my thoughts, what are my beliefs, what are my emotions. So here's how this works. So you take the thing that you want to create. Doesn't matter what it is. Most of the time it never matters what it is because it's all the same framework. So take the thing that you want to create. And I'm going to use a business today because I want to share with you the process that I went through just a little while ago in my current group coaching program or my business that I'm trying to really launch, right? And I find that I have a lot of conversations about the things that I don't want to do. Like I love my podcast, I love speaking, I love teaching, I love talking, I love my group coaching calls. And then there's all the other behind the scenes things, the very fine details that really upset me. they like, I just wish I didn't have to do that. And a lot of the times I like rebel against myself when I say, okay, I'm going to write these emails or I'm going to make these posts or I'm going to share some things in the group. And I'm just like, I just don't want to do it. And I'd rather just speak. I'd rather just teach. I'd rather they just come and ask me a question. And they're like, okay, that's not going to happen. You have to do some other stuff. Like you have to, you all want the big bonfire to cook your marshmallows, but you got to get the kindling. Kindling? How do you say that? You have to get the small wood. You have to get the little pieces. Those little pieces then add to the big pieces that create the big fire, the big bonfire. And you have to ignite those little pieces. So I have to put the energy in to those little pieces, all of my pieces, right? All of the emails, all of the posts, all of the shares, all of the videos, the courses, the content, all of that, my podcast. This is where I'm the most excited, is here doing this with you. But I have to do it there too. And it creates this balance, but it ignites everything. So this out here, the podcast, this is like the visual of the bonfire. But what I need those little sticks to light. And those are the emails and the posts and the shares, right? But I need to put in the good energy. And when I'm putting in the energy that says, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to share, then it comes out on the other side, resulting from the same energy that I just put in. So I put in a level 2 energy, I'm going to get a level 2 response. I'm not going to get a level 10 response. I can't go, I hate writing email, write an email, send it, and then try to get a 10 response from there. Okay. We have to level ourselves up from the inside. From there, we're going to start seeing magic happen. So this is how this works. And I found this tool to be really, really insightful. And I hope that you find it too. When you're looking at your life and you're looking at this, the category, your health, your wealth, your relationships, your jobs, whatever you want. And I want you to think about, write your top 3 thoughts about that. Like when someone is looking for a job, I have this friend who is like a job hopper and he's always like, I got to look for another job and there's no jobs in this town and I hate working and nobody pays anything, but I'm going to go look for a job. And I'm like, good luck. I'm like, you're not going to find it from that space. You have to elevate yourself first, then start looking from that elevated space, looking for the results of what you are inputting. You are putting it in your body. You are embedding the new emotional frequency in your body. That is going to start drawing higher frequency things to you. So the first thing is, what are your top three thoughts about the thing, about the desire, about weight loss, about looking for a job, let's say. You can say it's too hard. You can say there's no jobs. You can say I don't want one. Well, if you say you don't want one, you're certainly not going to find one. So you have to say things like, I'm curious. I'm curious what I'll find today. I wonder what the ideal job and pay would look like. You have to change your energy, and you can play along with me. You can pause this at any time and even do a job. What do you think of a job? What is your negative thought about that? Then, what are your three behaviors? So if this person is going out looking for a job, their behaviors might be procrastination, make excuses, and maybe arguing. Like maybe they just kind of argue with their spouse. No, I have to go find a job. I really hate it. Yes, there are. No, there aren't. Just kind of in this arguing space. Procrastination is a big one. And if you are procrastinating, which I just did a podcast yesterday on, but if you are procrastinating, there's a reason. There's some energy to be cleared. Your heart is telling you a message. Your heart is saying something to you that it's like, you have to look at something else. You have to do this a different way. Our emotions are always communicating with us. We just have to stop and slow down and go inward to start uncovering what our heart is trying to tell us. So once you get those thoughts down, okay, so write those thoughts down. Right there should be an epiphany. Well, gosh, no wonder I'm not finding the lifelong partner. When I say all the good ones are taken, or I'm too old, or I'm not sexy enough, or look at me now, or, those thoughts, you're not going to find something. You're not going to find your ideal partner from there. The behaviors, you're also going to notice. That's going to be a huge epiphany. Like, what? No wonder distraction, complaining, procrastination, right? Arguing, that's not getting me what I want. That's not from an elevated place, okay? And the last one are your emotions around the thing. Frustrated, angry, helpless, hopeless, resentful, irritated, impatient. All of those emotions are only going to create more of the same thing. So how do we elevate? First of all, this part, the thoughts, the behaviors, and the emotions makes up you in this state around this topic. That's like your personality. And remember, your personality can change. Your personality are just continuous thoughts and behaviors and emotions that have led to this, what almost seems like a permanent state. But I don't know about you. I have gone to, high school and college with some people that had some interesting personalities, and their personalities are different now. Their emotional state is different. Their behaviors are different. Not all of them, but some of them. So I am firmly a believer in that if I can change my thinking and I can change my emotional state, which if you've been listening to me for a long time, I say that all the time. It's like you use your thoughts to manage your emotion. And I can use my thoughts and create any kind of an emotional state. I can use my thoughts and my attention and put it on things that annoy me and irritate me. And sure enough, look at me. I'm irritated and annoyed. Or I can look at the things that I'm grateful for, like the lilacs are so in bloom. I have a giant lilac bush at the end of my driveway, and it is so amazingly beautiful. I step outside, and I can smell it immediately. Lilacs are by far my favorite scent or flower or bush or whatever you call it, flowering bush, and I just love it, and it is so in bloom right now. Or I can look at that somebody's dog pooped in my front yard. So I can look on one side of the driveway and feel grateful and amazing and just like feel like the world is beautiful. Or I could look at the other side and go, oh, it really stinks over here. I can't believe somebody did that. Want, and start getting all, pissed off. I choose. And you choose, right? You choose what you focus on that creates your day. Okay? So with our emotions and our thoughts and our behaviors, they're all linked together. So take one thing at a time and practice. Like I invite you to really dive head first into this because it's going to open your eyes to a whole new world of creation that you are going to get to this place that goes, oh my God, she's right. Like here I am in my living room and I can look at the mess. I can look at the stuff, the floor needs to get vacuumed. I can look at the cobweb that's up in the corner and get really mad and get really upset. Or I can look at this is the place where my family gathers. This is where we laugh. This is where we connect. This is where I snuggle with the dogs and the kids. This is the house that I'm building with my partner for my kids, right? So it's up to you where you point your attention. And if you look at these 3 things in one key area that you want to elevate, you're going to see right away that you're like, oh my God, totally understand why I'm not getting what I want. And you can take each of these areas, you can look at your thoughts, you can look at your behaviors and your emotions, and you could rate them. And I would say, looking at mine or this person who's getting a job, I would say it's probably a level 2, a level 1 or a level 2. So then now you get a clean piece of paper and you go, how do I want to behave? How do I want to think? How do I want to feel about this desire? And you start to create a new person. And, when I was a personal trainer, and this was several years ago, and I was in the fitness field for like 20 some years. And I remember when I started working really closely with clients on a regular basis in my boot camp, and they were coming in and we would do a weigh-in once a month. No, we did a weigh-in once a week. We did measurements once a month. And they're weighing in, and some had a really good attitude. Even if they gained a pound, they'd be like, oh, okay, well, at least it's only a pound. I'm going to work extra hard and really gather my focus this week. I'm like, good for you. Somebody else, loses a pound and they're like, oh man, I thought I was going to lose 3 pounds this week. This is so stupid. Maybe your scale is wrong. There's a big difference between those 2 attitudes. And I will tell you, the success of one person and their attitude, she lost 80 pounds in 6 months. And the other person who was losing some weight, she didn't hardly lose any, maybe 10 pounds in 6 months. So it is a big, big difference with how you start your day and what you focus on. After you've set up this new avatar, it's like filling in the blanks. You've all played a game where you got to choose the hair color and the eyes and the clothes. Well, this is a level deeper. You get to choose the thoughts, the behaviors, and the emotions. And once you choose them and you're using words like, wow, this is so easy, or I'm in love with this method to obtain my desire, or I'm going to reach my goals in no time. Like that feels a lot easier than I don't know how, I can't do it, and this sucks, right? Then your behaviors are maybe decisive, focused, clear, driven, determined, right? Now picture yourself with those thoughts. Download those into your energy body, which is your emotional body. And think of how would this person behave on a day-to-day basis? What would they do? Would they make excuses about going downstairs and going to the gym or going for a walk or going to work out or eating better? Would they make excuses about those things, or would they just go do it? So aligning yourself with your desire is vital in order to make your desire work. It's vital. So then now once you've created this avatar and it's like, you're the director of a play and you're like, okay, Louise, I want you're going to be a confident woman who's in business, who's got a 6-figure business, and she's absolutely in love with her clients. So I want you to stand tall with your chest out and your shoulders back and your chin up. And I want you to use confident words, and I want you to have clarity, and I want you to walk with purpose. Go. Show me what that looks like. Okay. So you can do it on the flip side too. Okay, Louise, you are a desolate person. You're looking for a job. You don't want a job. There are no jobs in this country. Nobody's paying anything but squat. You're really irritated. You're really frustrated. I want you to droop your shoulders. I want you to look at the ground. I want you to walk slowly, scuffle your feet, and drag your knuckles on the ground. Go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what you're going to create. You're going to create this new character with personality, somebody who is driven, alive with joy and vitality, and who is ready to launch whatever it is you're trying to launch. A new relationship, a new business, a new life. Whatever it is you're trying to launch, this is how you do it. You create the avatar. Now, here's the work. That's the fun part, creating the new thoughts, the avatar, right? That's getting dressed, doing the hair, putting the makeup on, getting the shoes. That's all that. That's all fun. Now, the work. This is my recommendation. You have to go into a visualization and you have to create a visualization from this space using this character, who is you, by the way, in first person. So you can feel what it feels like to be determined, to be a leader, to be decisive, to be clear, to be in shape, to have the money, to have the person, to have the life that you're wanting. You have to step into that role. You have to feel what it feels like to be that person. So much so that when you come out of that visualization, when you sit with yourself and you calm the mind and you quiet the body and you still the body and you think of this person and you step into this role, when you come out of that meditative state, you better feel like your goal is right around the corner. That's how you know you're doing it. Okay? Then the rest of it is trying to hold that desire, hold those thoughts, behaviors, and emotional state in your heart space. In your heart space, not in your mind. Your mind does not create. Your mind points. Your mind points to things to look at. Your body creates. Your mind looks at things, takes it in with the five senses, and goes, okay, body, it's your turn. I'm looking at something, and I want you to respond to what I'm looking at. And the body goes, okay, I'm going to be pissed off today. And the mind goes, yep, that's what we're doing. We're looking at this, and we're being pissed off. Okay? And the body goes, okay, that's what we're doing. So I'm going to slunch. I don't know what slunch means. It's a new one. Slouch or hunch over. I'm going to talk slow. I'm going to mumble. I'm going to scuff my feet. I'm going to be bored. I'm going to be annoyed. And I'm going to yell at stuff. And the mind goes, yep, that's what I want you to do. Okay? We're going to reverse that. So once you've created your avatar, once you've created it, when you are in the world, you're going to hold that space. You're going to hold that posture. You're going to use those words. You're going to use the same thoughts to create the same emotions that your avatar is using to create that new reality. That's the work. You have to ignore the current environment. It's no different than when you go out into your garden and you plant some seeds for cucumbers. You can't go out there the next day and dig up the cucumber seeds and wonder why it's not working. You have to know, you have to nurture. You go out there and you let the sun shine on it. You give it some water, you give it some fertilizer, you pull the weeds, you put a fence around it and keep the squirrels out of there. You create the environment. That's what you're doing when you're gardening. This is you cultivating a new space for your new life. If this is something that you want some support with, send me an email, themeditationroomtc@gmail.com. Say, hey, you know what, Jen? I want to work with you. I want to change my life. I want to shift my energy, and I want to know how to do it. I hope to see you soon. Thanks for listening. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would love for you to like, subscribe, and leave a comment as to how this has inspired you. If you're interested in learning about our Lady Leaders Retreat and to join a community of women who connect, heal, and create a life that is full of joy, inspiration, and empowerment, then send me an email at themeditationroomtc@gmail.com. Subject line, let's talk. And I will set up a time for us to have a conversation. And in the meantime, keep going, growing, and transforming, and keep looking for those nuggets of inspiration.